I am Slick Nick, your personal certified Enneagram coach. Let's talk about Encanto and how relevant that movie is if we're looking at it from an Enneagram perspective. Because to me, I can't help but watch this movie and think, this is a movie that is addressing that all of us have issues with certain emotions that we don't know quite what to do with them. Anger, shame, and fear. And this is directly addressed with Enneagram, that out of the 9 Enneagram personalities, whatever your basic personality is, there's some kind of unhealthy relationship you have with one of those specifically. Me as an Enneagram 7, by default, it's fear. But then my wing is 8, and that's in the anger category. So I've already got those taken care of. So, and when you look at your growth personality and your stress personality, pretty much you're going to end up in each of those triads at some point, each of those emotions. So again, anger, shame, and fear, which subconsciously often drive us for better and for worse. So when I watch Encanto with my family, this is the main thing. I mean, did I like the movie? Sure. But it was more like sobering, like awakening for me to realize this. I feel this movie is a commentary on the human experience. If we look at the plot of Encanto, assuming you've seen it, ultimately what we see is it asks the question, specifically in a family, what happens based on everyone's Enneagram if they don't know how to express those certain emotions? What happens if you have an Enneagram that's ultimately driven by fear or shame or anger, and you don't express that and you don't talk about it? You repress that instead. Well, what happens? And as you can see in the movie, the cracks start showing up in this house, which is, representing the overall network of relationships in that family. So I think that's very interesting, because ultimately that's what Enneagram is all about. It's acknowledging that all of us have an unhealthy relationship with anger, shame, and fear, but based on your Enneagram, you're going to be more likely to be in one of those categories more so. So for example, again, me, Enneagram 7, my main thing that I don't know how to deal with is fear. So as an Enneagram 7, what am I doing? I'm always trying to outrun it. I'm talking fast, I'm being productive all the time, because I don't want to deal with the fact that apparently I have fear. What is my fear as an Enneagram 7 specifically? It's that my time's being wasted. And then I've got this 8 wing that makes me angry if I feel my time is being wasted, because I don't really know how to deal with anger the right way. And it's hard to, or any of these emotions, fear, anger, and shame, that largely drive us and define us and actually make us better people. Even if we're not good at dealing with them, by default, these superhero qualities come out of us as we're trying to negotiate how to handle how we feel about that. But if you've seen the movie Encanto, I'm sure that you can see what I'm talking about. Like, this is basically an Enneagram movie. On a similar note, another Disney Pixar movie that is largely an Enneagram movie, undeniably, would be Inside Out. Inside Out, if you ask me, is about an Enneagram 9, Riley, the main girl, and you're looking at all the other 8 Enneagrams in her brain, her emotions. So you see joy, number 7, is the main driver in there, but there's anxiety, there's fear, there's other things in there driving her. But I love the fact that these are definitely psychological movies. These are arguably about mental health, and us understanding that. When you look at Inside Out, when you look at Encanto, it's a parable more than anything. And what can we learn about ourselves? Why do I connect with those movies specifically in some of the other Disney Pixar movies? I'm like, no, specifically these are psychological movies. So I want to hear from you. Have you watched these movies? Have you seen the Enneagram come out of those movies? But specifically in Encanto, addressing what happens when you deny access to understanding anger, shame, and fear. Your comments belong right here.